Yeah.
Yeah.
I got nowhere to go.
What's up, Raven Nation? We're back from winter break, and boy, was it eventful. Kicking things off, we got both football playoffs. We got college football and the NFL. Next, we're going to talk about an amazing game in the NBA between the two highest recorded teams in the NBA, the Cavaliers and Thunder, and then we're going to talk about the NFL MVP race. Let's get straight into it with the college football playoffs. All right, the 4 teams left. Ohio State is going to be squaring off against Texas, probably right now looking like the 2 favorites to win the whole thing. And then we got Notre Dame and Penn State. What do you guys have going into this?
So actually, I think Ohio State's going to win it all. Their offense is elite. Jeremiah Smith, what he did against Oregon was, every year they play in the Rose Bowl. They had Jackson Smith and Jigba. He did it in the Rose Bowl about 2 years ago. He locked up, I forgot who were they playing, but he had an immaculate game. Their defense, I know they're known for their offense, but their defense is full of studs like Cody Simon, Caleb Downs, Sony Styles, Lathan Ransom, and Denzel Burke. Their offense is just as talented as their defense, and I have Ohio State beating Notre Dame in the CFP championship.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I think Texas is going to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame's got a great squad. I actually predicted them to lose to Oregon. In my bracket, Riley Leonard's they have some good defense. They just locked down Georgia's offense, which is that's no small task. Georgia has an amazing offense. Notre Dame just shut them down. They put up some good points. But Texas, their defense is amazing. Andrew Makuba, Colin Simmons, Jahdae Barron. They have some amazing defensive studs. Quinn Ewers is great on offense. They have great receivers, Silas Bolden, Marcus Golden, Isaiah Bond. They have a great offense and a great defense, and I think just being able to combine an amazing offense and amazing defense is all you need to win it all.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it short. From what I've seen, I don't watch a lot of college football, but from what I've seen, Ohio State, I think, is the way to go. They've been playing some pretty good football. So.
Yeah, for me, I think it's going to come down to Ohio State or Texas. I think they're probably the 2 best teams in here. But I'm also going to take Ohio State just because right now the way I see it is Texas just narrowly got by Arizona State. And I don't think you're going to be able to squeak by a team that's arguably but probably definitely better than Arizona State and Ohio State. I think I would take the team who just beat the number 1 ranked team in the country. I want the team who's rolling right now, who's meshing at the right time. Give me Ohio State to win that, and then I'll take them all the way because I think they're that good. They're looking amazing. Don't let their 8 seed fool you. And then moving on, we got from college to the NFL. We have an amazing playoff kicking off. Starting off, we got the 2 1 seeds. Our Kansas City Chiefs are getting a bye, along with from the NFC, the Detroit Lions. And then we got some amazing matchups from Minnesota playing the Rams, Washington traveling to Tampa Bay, Green Bay at Philadelphia, the Chargers at Houston, Pittsburgh Steelers taking on Baltimore, and then Denver taking on the Buffalo Bills. Do you guys have any upsets in store here?
Yeah, I got a few. I think the Packers are going to beat the Eagles. I think this is Josh Jacobs' game. I think he's going to dominate. I was telling G. Will before we started, I think Josh Jacobs is going to have 150 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Eagles. I think their offense is just going to be really good, and I think they're going to outscore Philadelphia.
I do not have any upsets in the playoffs because I think the Chiefs are going to three-peat. Look, the Chiefs' defense, they're getting healthy at the right time. Trent McDuffie is already a lockdown corner. Jalen Watson was arguably one of the best corners when he was still healthy. If you have those 2 going up against Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, or Shakir and Amari Cooper, that's pretty good. And, I mean, that's all you need is a good defense. And the Chiefs' offense is good enough to get by in the playoffs. So
yeah, hearing good enough is not something you want to hear from the Kansas City Chiefs, but the defense is looking better than it's ever looked in the Mahomes era, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, pretty boring. I know I'm pretty biased also, but I think the Chiefs are going to three-peat. If I had an upset, I think the Commanders are playing pretty dang good, and I can see them, whipping something up. A good young quarterback, just cooking up on the field.
Yeah. I can't go against our home team. I love the Chiefs, so I'm not going to say anything against them. But if I had to pick an upset, I'm going to take a really bold take. But give me the Denver Broncos over the Buffalo Bills. I am a believer, and I think that this defense is looking legitly insane. The best cornerback in the NFL, and it's not even close this year, Patrick Surtain. He is insane, locking down the best receivers in the league. And let alone, he doesn't even have to lock down that good of a receiver. He can honestly just probably do it in his sleep against these Bills receivers. But I think this defense is looking awesome, and so it really comes down to, can the young stud Bo Nix lock in with Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, and get some amazing plays going. They just need a few deep balls, and that's what they're able to do with that huge arm of Bo Nix. So give me a shot with these Denver Broncos going to Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't think the Broncos are going to beat the Bills, but I do think it will be a closer game than people think. I could see an overtime, and I know you guys are going to get mad at me as soon as I love the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. In my personal predictions, I think the Chiefs are going to lose to the Chargers in the divisional round. I think they are going to struggle on offense, taking 2 to 3 weeks off for most of the starters, bringing them all back. The Chargers had like the third highest scoring defense this year. I think the Chiefs are going to struggle on offense. And Justin Herbert, he's balling out of his mind right now. He's got Ladd McConkey to throw to. Some of his receivers can be decent at some times. And
some of them are pumpkins.
Quinn Johnson.
They have a great defense.
That's not good.
They have a great defense that I think can keep Mahomes and the Chiefs under 20 points. And I think the way Justin Herbert's playing, who is very good at limiting mistakes, and his great rookie receiver, Ladd McConkey, I think the Chargers will beat the Chiefs. And since I don't think the Chiefs will repeat, I might as well tell you I think the Ravens are going to beat the Lions in the Super Bowl.
I think that the Lions are a better team than the Ravens. And then I think, honestly, I think that there's a way that these Minnesota Vikings, they're not going to the Super Bowl, I don't think, but I think they could go to the semifinals. Because this Lions team, if Sam Darnold can learn how not to throw the ball 50 feet over his wide receivers' heads, he's been looking good all year. And let's not forget that people were talking about him as an MVP candidate for a little bit of the year.
So you think the Vikings are going to go to NFC Championship?
I think it's possible.
Well, let me give you one of my takes. They lose by at least 10 points to the Rams first round.
I would have to agree. They are nothing. They're good, but they are not NFC Championship worthy. There's only 3 teams that could make it to the NFC Championship: the Lions, the Eagles, and I know you're gonna hate this, but hey, the Commanders. Okay.
The Commanders.
The Commanders. If they beat the Buccaneers, if they beat the Buccaneers,
You have the Commanders beating the Bucs?
they already beat the Eagles. They would play the Eagles.
If the Commanders beat the Bucs, though, that would mean unless Green Bay were to beat the Eagles, that would mean Washington goes straight into Detroit.
And
You think they have a chance against Detroit?
No.
maybe.
Hey, I think you guys are forgetting who the Bucs are and Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Yeah, Washington's not beating
Cheesecake
Tampa Bay.
Factory.
Dude,
The Buccaneers defense is not. It's probably one of the worst in the playoffs.
Are you familiar with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans?
Yeah, I know.
Buccaneers defense is fine.
I'm familiar, but
Most
like
consistent receiver
I think you guys
of
are
all
forgetting
time
that the
at
Bucs were
moment.
like 5-1 to start the year. They're going to stomp the Commanders.
bro.
And going back to
They
the
are not going to
Vikings,
stomp the Commanders.
the
let's be
Vikings
honest.
just got destroyed by the Lions. I think the Rams at home with a good defense and good offense are going to play off Minnesota's mistakes. We haven't seen Sam Darnold in the playoffs yet. I think he's going to struggle a little bit. And I think Matt Stafford, being the great veteran he is going to lead this Rams, and they're going to have a great game versus Minnesota. Minnesota, you had a great year. You're 14-3, but your time's over. I hate to break it to you, but you're not making it past the Rams.
I mean,
Yeah. It could go either way in that game.
I think the Minnesota Vikings defense is so good. I think they had a horrible week last week, but that's due to them playing an amazing
Hey,
offense.
Isaiah, name me 3 players on the Minnesota Vikings defense.
Couldn't.
Oh,
They're just a
Andrew
great-
Van
they're just a
Ginkel,
great unit.
Jonathan Grenard, Byron Murphy.
Thank you, G. Will. I was talking to Isaiah, though.
I think
Isaiah, can you tell me how good that Vikings defense
No,
is?
I looked
Hey,
at the
under
stats of the team.
Brian Flores' defense. Don't get me wrong, they're pretty good, but they're not an elite defense. They're a good defense. That's all I got to say.
They
They're
are
good.
no.
They're not elite.
The Vikings are giving up. The Vikings are top 5 in points given up per game to their opposing teams. They are looking good all year. Sam Darnold's the biggest question mark for this team. I think that this team, if you take Sam Darnold out of the equation, and let's just say every team takes their quarterback out, this Vikings team looks like probably a top 5, maybe 4th roster. I think this Sam Darnold is kind of throwing.
What?
I think Sam Darnold's kind of throwing things.
So,
really
so
good.
who was their quarterback? Wait. So who's their quarterback if they take out?
No, I'm saying every
Sam
team takes
Darnold.
out their quarterback, and
Yeah.
you just look at the roster.
I
of
cannot
every
believe
team.
you just said that. You can't name me 3 players on the Vikings defense, and you think they're top 4 when you
There's
get rid of
no
Sam Darnold?
Yes.
shot.
Yes.
No.
Have you looked at their defense? Like
No.
how many points per
Have you
game they
seen
give
the
up?
Lions? Have you seen the Bills?
The
Have
Ravens.
you seen the
their
Ravens?
Chiefs.
Have you seen the Eagles, Packers? You're
Like,
saying
they're
the Vikings team
Justin
without
Jefferson,
Sam Darnold.
Jordan Addison are probably they're a top.
But
5
who's
wide
their
receiver
quarterback
duo.
throwing to them?
No. If we're
We're
removing
taking the quarterback out.
QBs, you're saying the Vikings are top 4.
I mean top 4, top 5-ish.
No.
Because their wide receivers,
No.
Justin Jefferson and Jordan. So they have
Okay.
a top
Yeah,
5
yeah,
defense.
yeah.
You can't take that away
Yeah,
from them.
that's
So
cool.
then it comes down to their offense. So we have Jordan Addison and
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. That's a top.
Their defense isn't going to stick. Their defense isn't going to stick.
Yeah.
Dan Ginkle's been fine. Grenard's been fine. Byron Murphy's a Pro Bowler. Everyone else has just been role players, and
Well-
role players only get you so far.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think it comes down to Sam Darnold.
Yeah, he's the biggest question mark in these playoffs. The Vikings will go as far as Sam Darnold will let them go.
And that is a first-round exit.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'll bet you
It
$5
could-
on the game
It
right
could
now.
go either way.
I'll take it. You have
all right,
Vikings,
yeah.
I have Rams.
Sammy boy.
You guys saw that handshake,
Oh, it's recording.
and you'll see when he gives me $5.
All right, I'll
But
bring
that
it. I'll
could
bring
go
it right
either
here.
way.
Hey, are we got?
All right, next up we got
ready?
Thunder Cavs. The game happened and it was incredible. 30 lead changes. The Thunder end up falling short with 122, leaving the Cavs 129. The Cavs looking good. The Cavs, nobody saw this amount of just sheer awesomeness from this team coming into this season, and they are killing it. And the Thunder are also doing insane, but
Keep going. Come on.
I'm trying. I don't know what just happened. Okay, but the Cavs pulling it out and beating the Thunder. What do you guys have to say on it?
I think Cleveland did an amazing job proving that they don't rely on one single player to be amazing. They're the number 1 team in the East right now, and their best player so far this year, in my opinion, at least Donovan Mitchell, had a stinker of a game. He did not play very well. He was like 1 for 8 in the first half, and they still went out and they scored like 130 points, and they beat the number 1 team in the West, Oklahoma City. So they did a great job of showing that it takes a complete team effort to be the best team in your conference. Jared Allen had a great game. Evan Mobley was doing good. Like all of the Cleveland Cavaliers players were on point yesterday. So they did an amazing job of showing how important it is to work as a team and that you can't just rely on one good player to get you so far. Even though Donovan Mitchell is not only their only good player, he has been their best player. They did an amazing job of showing that their
not
role
their
play,
only player.
their role players can step up and perform as well.
And that's what it takes to have a great team, you know. It takes a superstar being able to step in and do superstar things when it matters. But it also takes a team who's willing to work around him, but when he's not at his best or he's not being able to put up insane numbers, you're able to pick the team up and you're able to bring them above other really good teams.
Just speak about role players. You know, Isaiah Hartenstein, a great player a great pickup from the Knicks, I think, because with Chet's injury, like, you know, I was really thinking, okay, well, they're all right, let's chill. I was really thinking for a second, you know, with Chet gone, you know, the Thunder might slow down. With Isaiah Hartenstein, with yesterday's game, the Thunder are 17-2. They were not that. They have not been that good. If they would have won yesterday, they would have been 18-1. Hartenstein yesterday almost put up a triple-double, a strong triple-double, 18, 11, and 8 he had. 8 assists. And just, he's great. I think he has the highest defensive rating out of any player in the NBA right now. He's just locked down D on the big guys, gets the rebounds, and then once you get him close to the rim, just that float game, man. He just be tossing up floaters. You watch the highlights, that's all he does. Gets close to the rim, floater, floater, floater. Oh, that's all I got.
I didn't really watch that game last night. I was watching the KU game. But
Rock chalk.
yes, sir. But SGA dropped 31 points. You know, Jalen Williams also has been good for this team. But the Cavaliers showed why, I think. Now, I'm not much of an NBA fan. I like college basketball better. but I think the Cavaliers are the best team in the NBA. They could beat the Celtics. I think that Kenny Atchison has done an amazing job in his first year. Donovan Mitchell said before the game, yes, we are good, but we have got some disrespect still on our team. That means that they still think that they can get better, and they're already one of the best teams. So Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley, that's a pretty good trio right there.
Well, yeah, I know Shea had 31 points yesterday, but I personally don't think that shields the fact that he didn't play great. His shooting efficiency was not very good. I think he was 7 for 18 in the first half. He did pick it up a little bit, but I know he had 31 points, but the only reason he had 31 points is because he took like 50 shots in the whole game. So I think just the amount of shots that Shea missed helped the Cavs just barely outscore Oklahoma City.
And that's why the role players matter so much.
Yeah, I would say that might be OKC's maybe their only weakness is that they really rely on their 1-2 big players. The Cavaliers yesterday had 7 players with double digits. Like they're able to just get people from all the 7 people with double digits. Like every single person on there is producing with pretty decent shooting efficiency, and nobody's playing selfish on that team.
Yeah, they know their roles and they play it perfectly.
Exactly. Number 1 defense for a reason too. Like they're able to score from anybody. They're able to play defense, and that's why they have such a big winning streak. And it did come to an end. Number 1 defense OKC. They were able to defeat them by just outscoring. Like it's that simple. Score more points than they do, and they're able to. They just pass the ball, and they trust everybody on the court to make those shots.
Yep, that's how the NBA works. Scored and don't get scored on.
Of course.
All right. So that was a nice little break from the NFL. But we're back with the MVP race. Currently, we have Josh Allen with minus 450 odds. He is the leader right now, taking a not completely star-studded team and making them look incredible, an incredible record. Josh Allen is doing it all with his legs, with his feet. Next, we got Lamar Jackson, plus 320 odds. Best stats, not even particularly close right now. Best stats, questions around how much his team is helping him as opposed to Josh Allen and some other things. Next up, we got Saquon Barkley, plus 8,000. It's really a two-man race at the moment. So give Saquon his flowers, though. Third in MVP voting for a running back is incredible, putting up 2K yards. And don't even forget this. He could have very well taken the record of most rushing yards in a season this year. He could have done it, but he chose, his team and him kind of decided that he was going to sit out and not. And keep in mind, he already had gone ridiculous against this team earlier in the season. It is not likely at all that he would not have gotten this record. This could have been his. He chose to make a play for his team. An incredible gesture by him, honestly. That could have even put him farther in the MVP race. And then we got Joey B, Joe Burrow, from the Cincinnati Bengals, plus 10,000. Everybody hates on him. He's number 1 in yards, number 1 in touchdowns. However, his team does raise concerns as they failed to make the playoffs this year. And he's been doing very well this year, but it just hasn't been enough to get them over the hump, and that's what players are really looking for in the MVP race.
Isaiah, I'm going to stop you right there. This is a two-man race. This is between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Shout out Saquon, had a great year. Shout out Joe Burrow, beast. He just couldn't make the playoffs. Baker Mayfield, great season. Goff, great season. Mahomes, great season, led the Chiefs to a 1 seed. This is between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I think, had 40-plus total touchdowns, about 12 interceptions, a lot of rushing touchdowns. He had the Bills had a really good season. They're the 2 seed. Lamar, 40 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. For me, Lamar Jackson's the MVP. He carried his team to a 3 seed. The Bills had the better overall seed. But Lamar Jackson threw 4 turnovers, and none of them were his fault. They were all either tip passes or misplays by his receivers. So Lamar Jackson, if we're going blamed on him, did not throw a single interception that was his fault all season. He had 40 passing touchdowns, 5, I think, rushing touchdowns. He had a lot of yards. This Ravens team is balling out. I said I think they're going to make the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, in terms of yardage and touchdowns, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are always going to be about the same. But in terms of mistakes, Josh Allen is always going to be up here above Lamar Jackson. And I think that just does it for me. What I think makes a great quarterback is the ability to keep the ball on the offense. Josh Allen is good at it, but Lamar has been the best in the NFL at it this season, and I think Lamar Jackson should be the MVP.
All right. I think there's an argument for both. I think with Josh Allen, I think he's doing more with what he has, and I think it's most valuable player, not best player. And I think if we're looking at straight up value that they bring to their teams, I think Josh Allen is doing far more with his weapons than Lamar is. However, Lamar's stats are absurd. Like if this Lamar was in last year's MVP race, Lamar won last year. But this Lamar is a Lamar we have never seen
So
before.
are you saying that Lamar's weapons are better than Josh Allen's weapons?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if I agree with that.
How?
He doesn't throw the ball to Derrick Henry very much.
Well, Derrick
Every now
Henry
and then.
doesn't have to. He just
check
carries it.
down, Like,
He can't. He has Derrick Henry throw to every now and then. He has Zay Flowers, who had a great season. Don't
A
get me
Pro
wrong.
Bowl season.
Should not be in
shouldn't
the
I
have
agree.
been, but
Should
he
have
is
been
a
Brian
Pro Bowl.
Thomas.
He is a Pro Bowl receiver.
Zay
Don't forget
Flowers
that.
had a good season. Rashad Bateman had a good season. Mark Andrews had a pretty good season. Likely was all right. But Amari Cooper arguably had a career year.
Yeah.
Balled out
Yep.
with
Is he better than Zay Flowers?
I would say
Yes.
Amari Cooper is. I would not say he's better than Zay Flowers, but I would say Khalil Shakir is way better than Rashad Bateman.
Yes.
Khalil Shakir had a career year. Keon Coleman, when he was playing, was pretty decent. Dalton Kincaid is good. James Cook catches the ball. So I don't think Lamar Jackson's weapons are necessarily. I would say Lamar Jackson's weapons are better than Josh Allen's.
But they're not that
I
great.
would say it's about. Look at this, right? I would say it's about this. I
I'd
would
say
say
it's like
Lamar.
a 20%, 25% increase.
I would say Lamar Jackson's weapons are better, but not that much better because Josh Allen also has many decent weapons to throw the ball to. So I'm not going to give the edge to Josh Allen just because of weapons because I think Lamar and Josh are kind of head-to-head when it comes to who has the most help.
Yeah, but I think it can also come down to one other thing, and I think that's Josh Allen is leading his team to more wins than Lamar Jackson's team has. And I'd say their defenses, they're
The
similar.
Ravens' defense is better than the Bills' defense.
Yeah.
Let's just get that out of the way.
And so the Ravens have a better defense, but Josh Allen's making his team's record better. So if he has worse weapons, a worse defense, he has a worse team. This Ravens team should be better, but Josh Allen has that clutch factor. Josh Allen is elevating his team above, and that's why his team is the 2 seed. The Ravens are the 3 seed, and why if it goes to the playoffs, it's going to be in Buffalo, which is because of what Josh Allen has done for his team. So I think that's a really strong argument for Josh Allen.
Okay.
All I got to say is I agree with Isaiah. Josh Allen is doing better with what he has than Lamar Jackson. And it also comes down, I know this is not related to the MVP, but Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have been terrible in the playoffs. I don't know how much wins they have combined, but they only have, like 3 or 4 wins combined. Joe Burrow's the only one to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs in the AFC side in the championship game. So if Josh Allen, I would not want to play the Bills if I were the Chiefs in the AFC championship game. I would rather play the Ravens because I think that we can beat the Ravens. If we play the Bills, I think we lose to the Bills.
I'm going to give you my final argument. You can give me all you want, but it won't change my mind. We saw Lamar play Josh Allen this year. I'm going to keep this short and sweet.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson beat Josh Allen 35-10. Absolute blowout. Wasn't even close. Lamar dominated Josh Allen, and that is my final argument. Lamar has a good team. Josh Allen has a good team. They both deserve it. But when Lamar faced off head-to-head against Josh Allen, he beat the crap out of him and his team.
I really hope it happens in the playoffs again. I would love to see it. I really would. But that is all we have from Second Take. We've had some.
Hold on a sec.
Oh, okay.
Bryson, would you like to say something?
My fault.
Yeah, I was going to say, so in every sport, there is no one player more important than an NFL quarterback in football. No one player has the most responsibility. That's why I believe there should be 2 trophies. Maybe a Tom Brady trophy for quarterback and, I don't know, name any other player.
A Saquon Barkley trophy
That's what I'm
just for
saying.
him.
Because I believe that the running backs, the wide receivers, they should get their flowers. You know, because there's definitely a place for them to be MVP. It's just year after year, you can't give it to anybody else other than the quarterback, and 90% of the time.
Well, yeah,
That's why there's the MVP, though, in the offensive player of the year. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I don't think they need a new award. I just think they need to rename it to best quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because every year it goes to a quarterback. Unless Saquon Barkley broke the record this year. If he broke the record, he would have got MVP
No, he
in a
wouldn't
lot
have.
of people's eyes.
No, no.
I don't think so.
I think Christian
think-
McCaffrey from
should
last
he have?
year.
It's just
Maybe,
so
but
it's
he
just so quarterback based. Like there's nobody else to give it to. They decide every game basically.
Yeah.
If there's a quarterback that's having an amazing season, a quarterback's going to win it.
Like last year's Christian McCaffrey
I think should have won it.
should have won it because
Yeah.
last year the quarterbacks were down, the running back Christian McCaffrey was up. That year I think it should have gone to Christian McCaffrey, but this year the quarterbacks are looking amazing.
All right, well, we're not even talking about this year anymore. And I know you guys don't want to keep watching for too long. You guys can go do your thing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Second Take. This has been Oliver Christie.
Garrett Williams.
Bryson Iderish.
Isaiah Wallace.
Raven Nation,
Let's fly.